Good day, everyone. Good day, grade 9, and welcome to our last lesson for this quarter on data presentation. Your presentation of figures like line graphs and charts in the APA format. So, just to give you a quick overview, your figures includes your graphs like your scatter plots, line graph, bar graphs, pictorial graphs like the pie charts or circle graphs, and charts and pictures, even pictures. They all belong to what we classify as figures. So one major difference between now explaining or presenting your graphs compared to the table is that the table title is above the table itself, while for the figure title is below the figure themselves. Okay? And just to clarify that the word table and the number of the table is also italicized. The same man sa inyo nga figures, they are italicized. Then you write the name of your line graph. What is it all about? So without further ado, let's discuss your presentation of figures. So in this case, I'll be presenting a sample line graph. It is about populations in millions over time. So just like what we did in explaining tables, you first try to explain the table. Okay. So the graph shows changes in population over time. Then you cite your extremes, what are the highest and lowest values. So results show that the year 1820 and 1840 both have the highest population. So where is 1820 and 1840? This is 1820, 1840. Okay, 1820, 1840. Approximation with around 710 million people each. The lowest population count was during the 1970s. So this is the 1970s with around 280 million people. Okay? This was due to rapid bloom of industrialization, which gave rise to pollution that brought hazards to people. Then again, you cite a study that supports your claim. So the study was according to Ching 2010, who studied about industrialization during the 1970s. So nagnubo ko ng population pagabot sa 1970 kay because of industrialization nga nag-cause sa pollution that brought health hazards among the people. So the same na nagyapon ang pag-explain ta just like your table. Only that again, the figure title is below the figure itself. So whether it's a pie chart or a photo, the figure is below the title of the figure is below the figure themselves. So how do you construct your line graphs? Okay, so there are many ways. So in your Word file, in your software, so you can do this. But also you can do this in a bond paper, but because we are doing a soft copy of our research, so we need to know how to do this in a Word. So I know that you already know how to do this one. So let's just review sa mga nalipat na kung paano. So it's very simple. So let's say I have raw data of the number of falling leaves per day for the past 4 days. Amo na siya, day 1, 10, 20, 20, 30. So paano tayo mag-construct sa atong line graph using your MS Word? So I'll try to delete this one. Liwat. So I will go to insert, then go to chart. Then choose your line graph. Be sure that you use your appropriate na figures to represent your data. So I'll be doing this one. Okay, with markers. So usually the X and Y category represents your individual na sa mga X and Y category. So ang inaton usually nga Y category, ang muna sabihin ang nasawag ta nga day. Okay? So day 1, that is our Y category. Below day 2, day 3, day 4. Okay? So usually kay ano siya, time siya. So fall of leaves over time. So ang time tara sa dalom. So therefore, paglitan ng series, kay isa lang man atong data set, so why na ni aton nga series. So pila number of leaves? Itong tani sabi nga number of leaves. So pila ang number of leaves na nataktak sa day 1? So that's 10, that's 20, that's 20 again, and that's 30. Okay? So right now, you can see the trend of the graph. Makita mo ng trend sa imong graphs. Okay? Kung ano ang number of leaves na nag-fall per day. So we'll close this one. So you just made your line graph based on the raw data that was being presented. So let's try to name this one. So number of fallen leaves per day. So we will now try to interpret our line graph. So as you can see, at one glance, at one look, makita mo na tayo kung ano nga day ang pinakataas just by watching at the markers on the line itself. So again, let's start with the explanation. The graph above shows the number of leaves that fell on the past 4 days. So one thing that makes your research ng strong is your skill on how to rephrase. So hindi pwedeng dito pa pirmihon nga the graph shows the number of fallen leaves per day. So let's try to rephrase naman. Kaya basi, number of fallen leaves per day, number of fallen leaves per day, number of fallen leaves per day, tapos number of fallen leaves per day naman day. So you try to rephrase para naman boring pasaon. So instead of saying that the graph above shows the number of fallen leaves per day, you try to rephrase. Shows the number of leaves that fell on the past 4 days. So day 4 has the highest number of fallen leaves with 30 leaves. So 30 na siya because 30 ang aton nga day 4. So ma-fall siya day 4, 30. Well, day 1 is the lowest. This is because of the decrease in temperature in the area that affects the tree's leaf dropping rate. Then you cite another title and you cite another in a study. Then you include the author's last name and the year it was published. Okay, ang mula nakapos magubra sa line graph. The same man as ang inyong mga pie charts and all. Basta remember lang that the figure title are written below the figure themselves. So pwede man na siya, ari lang sa insert, then insert your chart. Gusto mo na magubra pie chart, ang manabi, na insert na siya. You just try to explain. Okay? Yan, explain nyo lang. So, ang muna sabihin but usually hindi mo makita gagamit pie chart because it refers to population. Okay, it refers to population that represents a whole. So, pinaka-common din ginagamit during researches are your line graphs, your tables, and sometimes photographs. Okay? Like gusto nila picturean ang isa ka cell under the microscope, usually mo na siya ang ginagamit, mga photographs. So I think that's all for the data presentation of your charts, especially your line graphs. So I will not be giving a worksheet on this one. I'll just ask you to watch this video and screenshot that you are watching this video and send it to the specific section I will give sa Google Classroom. Then again, comment one thing that you have learned after watching this video. For the third quarter, that will be statistics. So I hope you have your calculators and to ready yourself. Kaya medyo bugat na nisubong ang atong third quarter. And I'll be doing ng PowerPoint presentations in that one. So just reminders, deadline of your video that's already on November 27, your video that tries to present your home-based experiment. So again, it's only 2 minutes maximum. So be sure to include everything in the given time. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to PM me. And if you have no more questions, this ends our second quarter and we'll see you on the third quarter. Goodbye.